Hello, everyone. This is AdamMeister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is March the 26th, 2021. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Golden age of the 2020s. Have a backbone, dudes. Buying over crying. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. I am offended by silence. Compete, don't complain. Hello, my elite friends. Oh, I'm back in Baltimore. Oh, yes. And I'm bringing you quite a crew from around the United States of America today. Yeah, they're all Americans. Kenn is in the house. He's in New Jersey or Philadelphia or somewhere. He's just up 95. I got to go up 95 and go visit him. We got Phil Geiger is in Austin. And Joe, welcome to Joe Rogers.
Yeah.
I wherever you're somewhere. I don't know if you want to say where you are. I don't care. But Joe
I'm
Rogers,
in Arkansas,
you're in Arkansas with Bill Clinton, baby. All right.
Clinton body count.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, Joe Rogers, making your debut. I bring you the freaking best guest in the space here every Friday, and I am so pumped. Now, some of you guys out there, and you guys can ask questions. You can do a super chat. I'm $17 away from a really round number in the super chat. So if someone wants to give us $17, that's good. But anyway, support the show in any way you like. But speaking about the best guest in the space, and people who have been on the show before, and people like to ask me about people, where they are. And people like to pedestal people. They like to pedestal Kevin O'Leary. They like to pedestal Elon Musk. But they also like to pedestal Trace Mayer. Oh! Now, a lot of people don't have reading comprehension. A lot of people missed a story that came out today. They just read the freaking headlines. And I'm just bringing this up because I was right about something. This is from Cointelegraph. Avanti Financial raises $37 million to launch an institutional crypto bank, okay? Now, that is Caitlin Long, who is great in Wyoming. We've known for a while she's starting a crypto bank. Remember, people, not a Bitcoin bank. She's made it very clear that at this bank, the institutions will be able to store their Litecoin, their whatever over there too. Okay, but she is competing. She's not complaining. And I knew that Trace Mayer had helped her with this before. But as everyone knows, about a year ago, Trace Mayer disappeared. But everybody misses him, and they cry for him, and they need him, and they're begging me where he is he? And I theorized, I'm like, he's probably helping Caitlin Long behind the scenes. He's a freaking billionaire. Why does he need to show his face again? Well, he did. If you read the Cointelegraph article to the end, and I'm just bringing this up because this is what you learn from AdamMeister. I tell people to read articles to the end, not just the headline. If you read the Cointelegraph article to the end, early Bitcoin adopter and entrepreneur Trace Mayer, who formed the consortium that led Avanti Series A, stated that Avanti is extremely well positioned to address the need for legally compliant operations in the digital asset area as markets mature. So there we go. He's back. That's it. He said something. Oh, wow. So I just wanted to get that out there. I don't know if the panel has any comments on that, any comments on Caitlin Long doing this bank, which we've known about for a while. And congrats. I'm glad she got money for it. We're going to talk about third-party storage and all that a lot today when we talk about BlockFi. But I'll just go. Joe, we'll start with you. Do you have anything to say about that? What I just said?
Well, I tell you what, Trace went off the radar a while back thanks to what was the conference that you guys were at where he kind of came out of the closet?
It was at Unconfiscatable, Unconfiscatable in Las Vegas. It was a great time. And I can't wait to see everybody in Miami and when we all hug each other in person like we did there. But continue, Joe. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for some of the viewers who don't know the backstory, maybe it might help Adam.
I don't even want to get into the Yenta gossip of the whole thing.
Okay. Here's the deal. He disappeared. He has not shown his face, tail between his legs for almost, over a year. And, he was our hero, and it's like Twitter slayed him. And, I mean, the guy, it looks like he knows how to make money. He moved early. I think that this is inevitable. I think Caitlin, I agree with you, Adam. She's moving the ball. She's putting legislation and framework and regulation in place in Wyoming. You see Texas is moving in that direction. She had some excellent commentary on around UCC regulation that Texas is kind of missing in their framework. That being said, back to Trace. I don't know what to say. He's moving in the background. He's still visible, but where the hell is he? I don't know. I feel like he hurt my soul, but that's okay. We'll move on. You get hardened, and I think that Trace Mayer's still taking care of Trace Mayer. That's what I gather from this.
Yeah, there you go. Pound that like button. And again, people who watch the show regularly, when people would ask me these questions, where is Trace? Where is Trace? I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just doing stuff in the background at Avanti. And hey, that looks like that's what he was doing. And it's not. I mean, he wasn't in some magical paradise somewhere hiding on some island, or he's doing what he was doing beforehand. He just wasn't on Twitter anymore. Okay, so but again, be careful when you put people on pedestals, because and then when you find out where they are, it's not too exotic or not too exciting. Just doing what he was doing. Phil, any thoughts on Caitlin Long, Trace Mayer, Avanti, people making appearances, putting people on pedestals?
Well, I love what they're doing in Wyoming with all the regulations and kind of the blockchain task force. So our CPO, Will Cole, he's based in Wyoming as well, and has worked with Caitlin and kind of the rest of the Wyoming legislature to get the blockchain task force and all those clear regulation and guidelines through. So really love that they're kind of setting the standard for the rest of the country. And I think Texas is learning a lot from what Wyoming government went through. Super happy that Avanti was able to raise such a significant amount of money to build, the first kind of, I guess they're sort of a cryptocurrency bank. It doesn't surprise me all that much that Trace Mayer is in the background, helping them out. I've heard that Avanti is a 100x in Bitcoin, good bank. That's a joke about the slips of paper that Trace was handing out at the conference. But no, I'm just happy to see that they're raising money and setting those great guidelines for the rest of the country. I think when we hear the FUD about Bitcoin, it's going to be banned by governments, and they're going to close down all the crypto and Bitcoin companies. This makes it, I think this sets a good precedent and makes the case for the fact that realistically, I think the ship has sailed on the U.S. government trying to shut everything down. We have senators, we have Congress people, we have an entire state setting up regulations. We have Fidelity applying for a Bitcoin ETF. It seems extremely unlikely to me personally at this point that the government's just going to be like, nope, shut it down. But that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Now remember, people, you won't be able to store your Bitcoin or your Litecoin or your whatever at this bank. It's for the institutions that will be doing it over there. All right, so good for them. Ken, do you have anything to say about this at all?
I disagree with Phil. I don't think this is going to stop the government from banning Bitcoin at all. They're just going to have government approved Bitcoin and not government approved Bitcoin. That's all. They're still going to ban Bitcoin. They're just going to whitelist their addresses and whitelist their Bitcoin. And to me, it's actually making it worse. I think it's going to be a lot harder for the average person to use crypto that can't, get KYC, to get a Wells Fargo bank account, to get a Visa, MasterCard, debit card. All of this is literally not good. It looks good, great, but it's not. They're not adopting Bitcoin. They're assimilating Bitcoin. There is a huge difference. It looks great from the outside, but on the inside, it's a cancer, and it's going to kill us.
What would adoption look like instead of assimilation?
Yeah, Ken, I totally disagree with you, of course.
The laws don't matter, though. They're not even enforceable. It doesn't matter if you regulate crypto or make regulations or legislations around it. You can't. The ability to enforce it's null. The reason piracy isn't enforced when I downloaded The Mandalorian from Disney and the FBI didn't kick in my door is it's unenforceable. The fact that you're even wasting money writing regulations is a joke. It's literally a joke. It's hall monitor bullshit at government level because of the ability to enforce it is null. And then they're just going to whitelist addresses. You're going to have to KYC, and you know, if you want to send Bitcoin from your hardware wallet to another hardware wallet, well, those hardware wallets have to abide by regulations. So their API, they're going to have the tech written into it that, oh, you can't send to that address because that address isn't whitelisted. So
wait,
like,
Ken, are you talking about how you're going to use Bitcoin, or are you talking about just some nebulous person? Like, are you going to move your Bitcoin that you have in self-custody into this sort of structure, or are you just saying in general this is bad because it's all inevitable, right? Bitcoin's disruption is that it is now the global reserve currency.
Yeah, but to think this is a good thing isn't
all
good.
governments are going to write legislation about it.
But to think that's a good thing isn't good. You know, it's kind of like they should ignore it, leave it alone. They don't need to write rules about it. They don't need to be the whole monitor of crypto. We don't need them. We self-regulate, we self-govern. If I find out that Bitcoin's coming from, you know, a pedophile that's accepting crypto, then yeah, I'll not accept that anymore. Like, we can check the blockchain. We don't need them to tell us, like, you accepted Bitcoin from somebody for a piece of art that you were selling. Well, that dude was a terrorist, so now you can't spend that Bitcoin anywhere. It's blacklisted. It's
well, Ken, I think you don't need that product, and that's great, right? Bitcoin allows you to use Bitcoin however you would like, and you can accept Bitcoin and hold your own keys and send it to whoever you want. But there are sovereign wealth funds that do need exposure to Bitcoin in order to stay, you know, like pension funds, sovereign wealth funds. All of these folks need. But that's only because they acknowledge. And the only way that they can use it is through these legal structures. Right. You're right. The only way they can use it through legal structures as a business. But the people who work at them don't need to follow the same rules as the institution that they work for. Right. Of course not. You know, you're saying it's bad. We don't need them. That's what I'm saying. Be your own bank. That's all. We don't need regulations. It's a waste of time. And by the way, Trace Mayer doesn't owe any of you anything. Trace Mayer isn't an influencer. He doesn't owe you a fucking YouTube video a week. He's Trace fucking Mayer.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what, Ken? What you were just saying, it's weird. Ray Dalio is saying what Ray Dalio this week said that the United States will probably ban Bitcoin one day. So yeah,
that's why I have to agree to disagree, I guess. But I'm more of a Bitcoin was supposed to be permissionless, and to write a permission slip for something that's permissionless is nonsense.
Ken, absolute nonsense. It's still permissionless for you. You can still continue to use it however you would like. Other people can use it. So Ken, you're going to send your Bitcoin to this regulated exchange? Why?
No, but if I wanted to go to a pizza store that accepts Bitcoin, if they have to follow the same rules as Visa and all these other things, like now I can't just use Bitcoin the way it's. I personally am so unbanked since 2015. I am all in. I do not have a bank account. I cannot prove where I live. I don't have that information. Now, as I see Bitcoin going mainstream, I am being outed. I can't use Bitcoin as Bitcoin anymore because I can't get into these. I can't use Bitcoin the way, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just becoming Visa 2.0. It's not, they're assimilating this shit, man. It sucks.
And by the way, I want to thank Ken Bozak for the $17 he sent the super chat.
That was fun.
That was really very kind of you to do. I mean, you're the guest on the show, and you're sending me money here, sending a good example. Thank you, Ken Bozak in the chat.
You can do stuff like this when you take profits.
Oh man, I'm offended by selling. Pound that like I'm offended by selling. We're going to get, but all right now. Okay, so we can agree to disagree on that. Ken, you're very worried about. I'm not worried. I let the corporate people have their corporate Bitcoin. We're always going to be able to figure out ways to keep it real, to keep it the way it is.
So I sold all my Bitcoin. I'm done. I'm done.
Governments and corporations need Bitcoin too, just like the rest of us.
I get it. No, they don't, but I'm done. I don't have any more Bitcoin. I'm not using Bitcoin anymore. I want to short Bitcoin to make Elon Musk the poorest person in the world now.
Oh, well, we're going to have a wild show today, baby. We're going to talk about Elon Musk. We're going to talk about NFTs. It's going to get crazy.
I want to rug pull the mainstream. Let's rug pull the institutions. Sell all your Bitcoin because they got in now.
Whoa.
And they're stuck holding it for 10. They can't sell.
Ken, can you share with the audience what we should sell our Bitcoin for?
Your own coin. Make your own coin, bro. Be your own Satoshi. Yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you, bro? Be your own Satoshi. Make your own money. Accept your money for your goods and services.
We're going to get to the NFT thing in a second. Hang on. I want to go. Okay, so we're talking about putting people on pedestals and FUD and such. I want to cover another story that didn't get that much coverage, and since Kenn is on a rant here, we'll keep it with him. Well, actually, let's go to Joe because you were silent. You were a little quiet there when they were going back and forth.
I got one more thing to say, Adam.
Yeah, please.
Look,
okay, you close it out, and then we'll talk about Kevin O'Leary. Yes,
I sympathize with both you guys. And Kenn, your opinion on the state, screw the state. Okay, screw central bankers. And if your thesis on Bitcoin, being uncensorable, unconfiscatable, we're going to still be able to use it, and we'll find a way to use it. And the big companies and businesses that need that exposure and Bitcoin in their portfolios, they're going to be able to use it too, and they're going to go the legal framework route. So I have full faith in Bitcoiners. I think that we will find a way. Screw central bankers. It's inevitable. It's either Bitcoin or communism, and my bet's on Bitcoin.
Oh, pound that like people. All right, so let's keep it here with you, Joe. The Kevin O'Leary, who a lot of people worship, and who seems to change his mind about Bitcoin. He's strategic. I think he's acquiring, but sometimes he says bad things to lower the price. And here's a new type of China FUD, or like a recycled semi-new. It's a hybrid of new and old here. Institutions do not want to own China coin. Bitcoin, China coin, which is Bitcoin, Kevin O'Leary says. The Shark Tank host said that big corporations do not want to own crypto mined in China, also known as blood coin. Oh, my Lord. Now, it's funny because we're just talking about a bank that's for institutions, which will be holding Bitcoin, so they don't seem to care. But he's kind of conflating some things here. Why is it China coin? The miners are in China. There's some miners that are in China, okay? They aren't the Chinese government. They're not the ones doing the things to the Uyghurs, okay? There's all sorts of entrepreneurs in China that are involved with mining. So you don't want to deal. Corporations don't want to deal with entrepreneurs in China, is what you're saying, because they're not dealing with the government of China when you're dealing with Bitcoin. The government of China isn't doing the mining and building the mining machines and everything like that. It's Chinese entrepreneurs. It's just like saying you don't want to do business with a Canadian company because you don't like Justin Trudeau. No one says that. So, Joe, what's your take on Kevin O'Leary saying this? China, calling it China coin and blood coin and.
He's trying to find a premium for something that he's involved in. If you read the article, he's trying to get a royalty and squeeze and get some more money and ads for himself. I think that there is an army of plebs out there that will stack a discounted China blood coin all day long. There's mixing techniques in place to eliminate that trail. And I'm for cheaper sats. So Kevin, do your thing. Have fun staying poor. This is bull. I think it's FUD, and I think that we've kind of addressed this in the past. It's like he's stirring up a shitstorm, excuse me here, but about fungibility. And I think that there's just an army of Bitcoiners who could care less and want Bitcoin no matter what. Bitcoin is just a protocol. It's just a coin. It does not give a what about you or where it was created. And the hodlers want the coin.
Okay, and I should have brought that up he mentions virgin coins. He says these corporations are only going to want them directly from miners that aren't in China. That's what they want. Now, again, so you talked about it's fungibility FUD. That was a good way of breaking it down there. Phil, your take.
Well, I agree, with points that Kevin makes, and that we shouldn't be supporting the CCP as much as we can. And so I think one way that we can do that is not buying a TV to watch Shark Tank on from China, and instead stacking sats, right? Because if we can convert the world to a Bitcoin standard, then the Chinese Communist Party is not going to be able to exert their influence in the same way that they're doing today.
That was really good. All right, Kenn, your take. We were talking about this before the show.
Dude, I honestly don't know. I kind of agree with Kevin in a sense. He may have a misconception of what he may be awoken to, but Bitcoin is not fungible. It can be fungible, but it's not fungible. If I mentioned earlier, with blacklisted Bitcoin, whitelisted Bitcoin, virgin coin, and non-forked coin. Phil's shaking his head. But if I had a Bitcoin that I had from 2015 that was unforked, would you agree that that's worth more than one Bitcoin that you got from Coinbase today? Yes, it is, and it's worth more. It has Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Private, Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Gold, all these shit coins inside of it, right? It's not, and it can be fungible, like a blacklisted Bitcoin and a whitelisted Bitcoin, right? These clean coins, yeah, you can tumble them and mix them, but they're not inherently fungible to the sense that, you have this virgin Bitcoin, right? That is worth more, and it's only worth more because there are collectors. Like Kevin sees that.
Well, actually, it's worth less because you can spend a less amount on electricity to earn virgin Bitcoin, right? If you're mining
talking
Bitcoin,
as an investor, I'm
actually
talking as a
spending less.
collecting. There's a difference. I want a virgin coin. I want an unforked coin. I want this coin. There's going to be people collecting these. And I think that he's onto the fact that one Bitcoin doesn't always necessarily equal one Bitcoin, because that one Bitcoin may be a virgin coin. And just because, you have that financial opinion, but as a collector standpoint, that speculative value that I'm giving it is, it's a virgin coin. Nobody's touched it. I know where it came. That adds value to it that a coin from Coinbase doesn't have. And if you get a coin from Silk Road, that's worth less than one coin from Coinbase because of where it came from. And that's because of its non-fungibility. Yes, you can tumble it, but that's like robbing a bank, getting a bag full of money and the ink blotter goes off, and you have a bag full of $100 bills with stains on them because they're dirty Bitcoin. You can tumble them. You can throw them in a washing machine and scrub the ink off from the bank robbery, and now you have a clean $100 bill. But that didn't mean it was fungible from inception. It had to go through a process to become fungible. So Bitcoin is has fungibility. And I think Kevin's just onto it in a different way as a collector. He's going to see people that are going to want virgin coins. They're going to.
The article's about investors, though, Ken. It's not about collectors.
No, I know, but that's why I said
or
it's a
institutions.
misconception of it. He's onto something, and he's seeing it in a different way as an investor. But I personally would pay more for a virgin coin than I would for a Bitcoin from Coinbase.
You can pay less by mining it.
You can, but you have to buy the fucking miners. You have to pay for the infrastructure, and then you have to win the lottery. That's not cheaper, bro. I get it, but
cheaper. If you have extremely cheap electricity right now,
are you mining Bitcoin or are you buying Bitcoin?
What I'm telling you is, if you have,
I'm asking you what you're doing. Are you doing what you just said? Are you mining it because it's cheaper, or are you buying it because it's easier?
I don't value virgin coins the same way that you value virgin coins, Ken. You're welcome to go and buy virgin coins or mine.
What about unforked coins, though? There's different Bitcoin. That's the thing. There's not just one.
No. There is one Bitcoin, and then there are shit coins. There's Bitcoin, Ken, and then there's shit coins. And whenever you are given a copy of Bitcoin, the only logical thing to do with that copy is to, if it holds any value, convert it immediately to more Bitcoin. So in 2017, 2018, when all those forks were coming out, the economic decision was to scrape all of them for more Bitcoin. Now, the people who've done that, myself included, increase their Bitcoin stash by 10, 20%. If you had held on to it, it would be worth almost nothing now.
I have a Casasius coin. I have one Bitcoin right here from 2015. It is not forked. This one Bitcoin this is mined right to the coin. This has Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin blah, 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 and I can hand it to you, do an offline transaction. This is worth more than one Bitcoin on Coinbase, fundamentally, philosophically, ideologically, blah, 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 blah. It's worth
value is subjective, Ken. Like, it's worth
That's
more
the
to
point,
you.
though.
You
exactly.
have to find a buyer, dude.
That's
the point to this.
Okay.
It is subjective. So one Bitcoin can't equal one Bitcoin when subjectivity is going into it in that sense.
Dude, you're very confused about all of this.
People will value a virgin Bitcoin more than they will value a tainted Bitcoin.
Ken, it seems like you're trying to segue into an NFT discussion too when you're talking about
Bitcoins are NFTs. Bitcoins are NFTs, though.
All right, we're going to get to
what
that.
What coin are you trying to sell Adam's audience here?
All right, well,
your own. I will buy all of your coins. If you all make your own shitcoin today, I will buy it. Go make an NFT. I'll buy your NFT all day, every day.
We are getting close. I'm holding off on the NFT discussion until we get through a couple more things. But you can tell, guys, it's all leading to this, and Ken is into this. Now, I want to stick with Phil here with another story. Because Phil, you know about third parties holding Bitcoin and companies that are help people store Bitcoin and whatnot. And BlockFi has made a lot of news lately. There's been rumors about BlockFi. I am a guy that is just straight up control your own private key. Why do people want to get interest on their Bitcoin when they can get interest on their Bitcoin by getting these forks and forks and airdrops, which I call crypto dividends, or we all call crypto dividends, that we've gotten throughout the years and didn't wait around to cash them out. But BlockFi offers people interest, and supposedly they loan out Bitcoin. And we've learned that there's not that big of a demand to actually get Bitcoin from there's a lot of demand for people to get interest on their Bitcoin, but people don't want to pay interest to borrow Bitcoin. But anyway, so it came out this week. First of all, BlockFi has raised millions and millions of dollars. Good for them. But what did come out this week is that if you've given BlockFi between 1 and 20 Bitcoin, that now you're only going to make 2% interest instead of 3% interest. Okay. So, I mean, that's actually good, because I just was wondering, how sustainable is this, giving out this interest. So what do you think about the situation at BlockFi, Phil?
Well, I think the situation right now is that they have a significant amount of client deposits, and they don't have people right now that are interested in borrowing client deposits. So the way that that company, as well as really every crypto financial company right now, is able to pay interest is by taking client deposits, commingling it. So you don't have, specific address for your Bitcoin. They commingle all the client deposits, and then they lend it out to somebody. I actually view this as extremely bullish news for Bitcoin in general, because it means that people are less interested in borrowing Bitcoin. And why would you want to borrow Bitcoin? Well, a lot of times you borrow Bitcoin to short sell it. So there's not as much demand for borrowed Bitcoin, which is going to cause the interest rates to drop. And they're not going to be able to pay their clients as much interest back.
You've explained perfectly the logic behind all of this, but I want to take it to another level. What is the future of companies like BlockFi, and what do you think about people who just can't just sit on their Bitcoin? They need to. These people are because it's not FDIC insured. In theory, you could give them 3 Bitcoin and they could go out of business, and you are in big trouble at that point. So what do you think about this overall mentality of people that are willing to give up control of their private keys?
Yeah, well, I think the fiat financial system has us really addicted to yield. So everyone's out there trying to find yield. It's like baked into the money itself, right? Fiat. Are you
down with the APY? Yeah, you know me.
Right. So when we're moving now to the Bitcoin economy, which is it can be decentralized as long as you take control of private keys. Like, people get into it, they make the decision to get some Bitcoin, but then they immediately are trying to figure out, how can I make yield on my Bitcoin? What they should be thinking about, in my view, is how do I secure my Bitcoin for decades? How do I secure it for generations? And the way to do that is holding your own private keys. And I think multi-signature addresses are the best way to secure your Bitcoin for decades. So these crypto financial services companies, they're essentially, in a lot of ways, taking the legacy system and just trying to apply it directly to Bitcoin. I don't think that we need to have companies that exist in the same way in the Bitcoin native economy, because you can use multi-signature addresses where keys are distributed among multiple entities to be able to achieve the same sort of financial goals. Now, maybe the yield you're paying or earning is going to be significantly less than the old rehypothecation model, but I do think we can do it in a much more secure way so that folks aren't going to lose their coins or have their coins be at risk of like a single company.
All right, Joe, your take on BlockFi and people lending out their Bitcoin to get 2% returns.
I'm not a customer for that. I want to hold my Bitcoin. I don't see 2% being enough to risk like the most precious asset mankind's ever known. Like, it's just not worth it. But I do know that, people on Twitter are looking for ways to make more Bitcoin. People are trying to put their Bitcoin to work. And I think it's inevitable. It's not for me. I'm more fascinated by, I don't know if you guys have been following what's happening on Lightning Network with Lightning Pool, being able to essentially lease channels on the Lightning Network and earning an APY yield on that. I see that as being more productive use of my Bitcoin. I feel like I have more control of it since it would be like within my own Lightning node. So I'm more interested in that, but it's going to happen. I just hope people don't get wrecked. I hope people really weigh the risk that's out there. And I really like, Phil's position on multi-sig, taking care of your Bitcoin for long term. And it's something I'm actively pursuing right now.
All right. Now, remember that, I read earlier this week about the Lightning Network, and someone was saying you get a better return doing this with the Lightning Network than you would from BlockFi. Well, let's see how that let's see how that develops. Yeah. Again, with BlockFi, you're going to give them 20 Bitcoin, which is like $1 million for a 2% return. My Lord, risk $1 million for. Sorry, someone was about to say something. I didn't see. Was that you, Phil, that was about to say something? Okay, maybe not. Then I thought I heard something. All right, Ken, your take on BlockFi. What do you think about that company? Are they legit?
Yeah, I'm with both of these guys here, man. They hit them both on the head. Except I think people aren't prepared for that whole. Like, you touched on it too, man. The banks get bailed out. These guys aren't going to get bailed out. There's no BlockFi bailout. That ain't happening. And even if it does ever, it would be in dollar value, and by then it'll be a Mount Gox, level event, man. And that's inevitable. That there's no. Yes. That's not a if. It's a when situation. And yeah, definitely. I've been saying the same thing about Lightning. If you want to put your Bitcoin to work, just open a channel or join one or whatever. And if people want to move 100,000 Bitcoin through Lightning, they got to find a channel that has 101,000, Bitcoin there to facilitate the move. You can earn from that. It's the same, but better, more, and it's your Bitcoin. So Bitcoin doesn't need things like BlockFi because Bitcoin has BlockFi built in. But just like Joe said, everyone's trying to find out how to get more Bitcoin. Well, this is BlockFi's way of how to get more Bitcoin, right? They're not buying it; they're tricking you into giving it to them. So much easier that way, isn't it?
I will. You said something about the inevitability, and I want to point out, for me, it is inevitable. It might not be. I'm not saying it's BlockFi, but there are other companies that try to do exactly what. There are plenty of them that would. There, of course, one of them is going to have a Mount, and it'll be bigger than Mount Gox. It'll be a big because it's more people are involved in Bitcoin now. Now, God forbid, if it was BlockFi that went down, that would be very bad. That would be very bad. It would be a bad day for Bitcoin. It would recover, obviously, but Pomp is involved with this. All these big names would be called out on the rug and be like, "Well, you were telling us this was cool, and now this thing is, all the."
A lot of these people, Adam, are the same people who were talking to us 4 years ago about unbanking and all this, and now basically they're just banking Bitcoin.
There's some overlap there. So I don't want to. I'm not spreading FUD about BlockFi, by the way. I'm not spreading FUD. I am just sticking with what I've always said: control your own private key. Okay, why risk $1 million for a 2% return? It's just think of it that way, dudes. And I hope BlockFi figures out a way to make this sustainable. I think the recent influx of money. Obviously, it doesn't matter if what they were doing was unsustainable beforehand because they got bailed out by their investors, whatever way you want to interpret it. But I don't know what their magic sauce is that allows them to keep doing this. Maybe they'll expand into other businesses that'll make them profitable, so they'll be able to keep on paying people 2%. I don't know. So it's just people are so used to the old financial model from a bank. And I think people have to get out of that. Like, stop, wanting this type of return from a third party and figure out how to do it your darn self by getting the crypto dividends, the forks, whatever. All right, so let's move on to Tesla. That was big. Everyone's already forgotten this news. That the weeks. This was the beginning of when did they announce this? Tuesday or Wednesday? Like, every day is a week in Bitcoin. Tesla is accepting Bitcoin. We kind of already knew that they were going to do that. You could pay them in Bitcoin. But the big thing is with Tesla is that they're not going to turn it into fiat. Who knows what? Maybe they're going to pay their employees with it. Who knows what they're going to do in it? But they're not turning it into fiat, which is very good. And so I want to get everyone's take on that. Who was just clapping there?
Me. I just love that he's
okay. So what? Yeah. What do you think about it, Ken? What do you think about it?
I think it's motivating. It's people look up to Elon. They're going to hopefully maybe follow suit along that same line of going, wait, didn't we accept Bitcoin through like BitPay or Coinbase Merchant or whatever? And wait, we were selling it for fiat immediately? What the heck were we doing? This may get those mom and pop shops that were using those point of sale systems that were just a convenient way to accept crypto, converting it to fiat, sending it to their bank accounts. They may, have better hindsight now moving forward, where they may think of a business as saying, well, how many people actually spend Bitcoin here? What's that, $200 a year or something, right? On average, we could risk that as the business. We don't need to sell the Bitcoin right away for every slice. So maybe even small businesses will look at this as an opportunity and say, if Tesla can take that risk, it can't be too bad of an idea to diversify and accept Bitcoin and keep it as Bitcoin for the businesses that already accept it today. There's plenty of them that accept Bitcoin at the register with these, what is it, GoChain with Brock in them, BitPay, Coinbase. There's like tons, but they're all immediately converting it to fiat. And as they look back at what it would have been worth if they would have held on to it, like inventory goods that just sit on the back shelf, probably would have been a better bet. So to me, this is inspiring the small guys. And that's what I think is the best silver lining out of this.
Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Tesla is leading by example there. So, Joe, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with Ken. This is really exciting. I think this is positive. And what's interesting, Tesla, they're going to be accepting Bitcoin for Teslas. So they're going to be using that, I guess, as income. I think if MicroStrategy, if Saylor could get his customers to start paying their bills for his services that he offers in Bitcoin, they'd be stacking the same way. So Tesla's just in a kind of a neat position to where their customer base might be willing to actually pay them in Bitcoin. Maybe this makes a lot of sense for other B2C type businesses. But I think it'll be interesting to see when MicroStrategy, when other companies are willing to pay MicroStrategy maybe for a discounted rate to pay for their products and services. That's kind of interesting. But for me, I take this as this is good for Bitcoin. I'm going to keep stacking. I'm trying to front run these son of guns. I'm definitely not trading my Bitcoin for a Tesla. Maybe in 10 years, I'll think about it. But right now, no way. I'm going to take my hand-me-down truck.
It's kind of interesting. I used to say back in the day that in 2021, I would buy my dearly departed, my father was alive then, I would buy my father a Tesla in 2021. And it's so weird that in 2021, now Tesla is accepting Bitcoin. But anyway, it's weird how that worked out. What's your take on the and by the way, this destroys the FUD from the trolls out there. The trolls will still say it. Nobody accepts Bitcoin as for anything. I mean, come on now. I mean, first of all, Ken Bozak's been freaking living off of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for years now.
I drive out of my way to certain stores that I know accept it. It's just, that's how we roll, man.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so many people. It's not a real currency because people don't accept it as a means of exchange. I mean, come on, they are right there. So, Phil, what's your take? I mean, it's great that they're not turning it into fiat, obviously, leading by example. But take it away, Phil.
Yeah, so Tesla, the company, or I guess Elon Musk and really the board of advisors has recognized that Bitcoin is such a valuable currency that, first of all, they're going to move a portion of their treasury into Bitcoin. But their other strategy to obtain as much Bitcoin as possible is by just selling cars for Bitcoin. So it's very cool to see vendors that recognize that Bitcoin is extremely valuable and are going to start selling their goods and services for Bitcoin. The issue that they're going to run into is that, just like Joe said, Bitcoiners typically don't want to spend their Bitcoin. They want to earn Bitcoin. So any Bitcoiner today that is earning income that might be in fiat denominated dollars, they are US dollars, they'll be using those US dollars to purchase Bitcoin on their own. Luckily, we have services like Strike out there, which allow you to spend someone else's Bitcoin. That I think is going to be a really interesting use case for merchants who want to accept Bitcoin and also people who want to support that without spending their own Bitcoin. You can use Strike. You can scan a QR code, link your US dollar bank account, and send the merchant Bitcoin that way. So yeah, very cool to see different levels of adoption. I still think Gresham and Thier's law still apply in Bitcoin. It still makes more sense to hold it for years rather than to use it to buy a Tesla. But love to see that Tesla recognizes that Bitcoin is the new reserve currency.
Tesla's going to do great off of this. The rich get richer. They'll hold on to it. I mean, good for them. So we're going to move on to. First of all,
I got a question for Phil, real quick.
Yes.
One question. I'm just curious, Phil, is this like, I don't know, right? So I'm just asking you maybe, is this like a level 9,000 IQ on how to acquire Bitcoin as a company to not buy it, but basically be given it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what everybody here is doing. We're trying to find ways to earn Bitcoin.
But I mean, like from a corporate acquiring way, is it like a different taxability or a different way of like having to claim capital gains as a business? Because he bought, 1.5 billion worth, but now he's probably going to get much more than that given to him. I'm just curious, what would the difference be if he earned 1.5 versus what he bought with the 1.5, and how that might be seen as an investment rather than a purchase or gift or.
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's something that I think Tesla will have to figure out. I think
that's what
right
I said.
now,
I think they're thinking big brain, and I can't figure out what they're up to with it.
Not sure.
Yeah. I mean,
the dollar cost averaging via sales.
There you go. Thank you. That's an easier way to put it.
That would be Tesla cost averaging.
Tesla cost averaging.
Dude, they have to have good accountants over there. I'm sure they'll figure out some way of making it even better.
Cost averaging.
All right. I want to thank Hastings Insurance Solutions. Sent me $5. That's the guy's name. He sent me $5 on the show I recently did with Vivek. I was on the Vivek podcast. It's linked to below. It's on my channel. There've been all sorts of interviews of me lately that have been on this channel that originated on other channels. I love being interviewed by other people. You get a different feel. It's a different vibe. They're good stuff. It's linked to everyone. The point is disruptmeister.com. Link to below. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt. And thank you for the $5, Hastings. You did it in the video that wasn't live, and I just wanted to say thank you. And you said, buy the dip. Cheers to living. Yes, cheers to living. Golden age of the 2020s. I'm happy to be alive for this thing. All right, so let's go. FTX set to secure naming rights to the Miami arena, the basketball arena in beautiful Miami until the year 2040. They're going to pay $135 million over 19 years to have the arena called whatever. It's going to be called the FTX Arena. I don't know what they're going to call it. Hey, that's for me. This was a big story because a lot of normies are going to they pay attention to the NBA and they usually catch the name of the arena. American Airlines Arena. That's what it's currently called there. And now it's going to be called FTX. Now, we've kind of been through this before during the .com era. Like in 2000 stuff, there was a company called PSINet. And I know this because I'm from Baltimore, and PSINet, a company that does not exist anymore, but had a huge valuation because of the whole stock market bubble in the year 2000 and all the .com stuff. It bought the naming rights of the Baltimore football stadium. And eventually they had to give it up because the company went bankrupt. So, I mean, it's not they're not guaranteed. FTX is not guaranteed success forever and ever because of this. But I think it's, in terms of marketing, it's very interesting. It's a new step for a crypto-related company. So I guess, Phil, what was your take on this?
Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on this. I mean, I think it's cool that their company's doing well, that they're starting to sponsor different sports, buy a sports stadium or sponsor a sports stadium. It's more just Bitcoin is becoming more and more mainstream in a lot of different ways. Like when you're watching sports on TV today, who are all the sponsors, right? It's banks, insurance companies, car manufacturers, stuff like that. It's all these mega corporations, and the fact that now Bitcoin companies are showing up and starting to sponsor things. It's like, hey guys, Bitcoiners are here. We're going to be on all the buildings around your city. Embrace us. And
on a personal note, I spent a lot of time in Miami just for the most of this year. And now I'm back here for a little bit, and I'll be back in Miami for the event. And it's such an entrepreneurial environment. Clearly, a lot of crypto-related people are down there, and the mayor is awesome. But what do you think, Phil? Is it Austin or Miami, man? You're in Austin, so Austin versus Miami. What's your pick?
Yeah, that's a tough call. I'm going to have to say Austin, hands down, simply because we have a few things. First of all, the best barbecue. We have cowboy boots and cowboy hats here. We host the Austin Bitcoin Developers Meetup at Unchained Capital office every month. You guys should come out. April 15th is the next one. And we're growing a community of extremely talented Bitcoiners here.
But I mean, the overall vibe, though, where will the Bitcoiners be flocking to? Austin or Miami? Or you just got to stick loyal to Austin here?
I think that the Bitcoiners are going to be flocking to citadels that they have, like out in the ocean or like little island castles somewhere. In remote
yachts,
areas.
bro. Just yachts, undocked yachts.
Undocked yachts. All right, so we'll see about. Well, Ken, do you care that this arena? I mean, there's a lot of money FTX is going to spend.
Well, I mean, to me, this is funny because it's like I like history, kind of like I watch documentaries for fun when I get high. It's not like just cartoons in my life, and it's cool to go back and watch a little bit of how exactly this been played out before. We've seen the landline companies that provided landline phone services. They had their names on stadiums left and right. Not one of them left because the internet providers now have the names on all of those same stadiums that the landline providers used to sponsor. And the banks like Wells Fargo or whatever that have these stadiums are probably seeing right now the future of that happening to them, where Wells Fargo Center will probably become Coinbase Center. And the PNC Spectrum will probably be called Kraken Spectrum. And that's where we're headed. This is it. You're witnessing history repeating itself identically to what happened in a very similar fashion. These are one of those like telltale signs that kind of pop up when paradigm shifts are starting to occur. So this is like one of those like glitches in the Matrix when the black cat walks by Neo twice and you're driving by a stadium and you're like, wait, is that a crypto exchange thing? Like that glitches are happening and it's snapping into our version of reality now, where we're going to start seeing Coinbase Stadium and Gemini, Spectrums and all that stuff. Like,
I like that Coinbase. About that, we'll talk about that another week. They're one day closer to going public in April. They're going to go public, but yeah, they probably will be. Right now in Baltimore, the football stadium, by the way, is called M&T Bank Stadium. I do want to bring it back real quick. Historical note for all the real young people out there. Back in the old days, the stadiums they didn't have corporate names. In Baltimore, it was Memorial Stadium after the guys who died for this country. And at the bottom, it said, "Time will not dim the glory of their deeds." And has time to dim the glory of their deeds? Now it's all these corporate Anyway, let's go to Joe here. What's your take on FTX?
All right. So I do know this. I read into the story a little bit. I think it's awesome, number one. But this isn't the first time a Bitcoin-related company's got involved in sports world. I know like over in English Premier League, sportsbet.io, which is notorious for Bitcoin gambling, famously have put the Bitcoin logo on English Premier League jersey, which is arguably one of the largest sporting leagues on the planet. But regarding FTX, which is pretty neat about Miami, the sports team does not actually negotiate this contract. It's actually the city of Miami. Oh. So, I mean, I think this is one of Suarez's kind of like boss moves, kind of positioning the city as being crypto forward. And I mean, like he's putting it all out there. So I think this is exciting. I think that the Miami Citadel is something I like to visit, but I'd rather live in Austin. That's my 2 cents on Citadel theory.
Okay. All right. Real quick about Miami or of course, Joe, of course, is going to be at the Bitcoin Magazine event in Miami on June 4th and 5th, I assume. Ken, are you going to be there?
Yeah, they invited me out. I'll be there. I'm coming in with BitBoy and his gang, so
all right,
it'll be fun.
Interesting crew, that Bitcoin.
Right.
Guy. Yeah.
It's going to be a yin and yang scenario when we walk in, that's for sure.
Yeah, very interesting. Very 80% of there. So Phil, are you going to be at the event?
Yeah, Unchained Capital is actually one of the sponsors of the event, so we're going to have a large team there. Yeah, we're going to have a booth. You can come say hi.
This is so awesome. We're all going to be there. We're all these people up at my show. We're going to all meet. Now, I've met Ken in person before, so that's cool. But I can't wait to hug all of you and touch all of you because, that's illegal to do. Like here in Baltimore, I don't think you're allowed to hug anyone anymore or something. But it will be because I've already been in Miami. I was at an event there in January, and Tone Vase was there. We were hugging people. It was so no one was wearing diapers on their faces or anything. It was awesome. It was so I can't wait.
I'll be in Miami next month for the NFT Expo.
There. Good. Yeah, there's actually is that Juan Galt is having some event? Is that Juan?
Yeah. It's April 21st to 22nd and the 23rd. But I'm flying into Miami for 420 if anybody wants to hang out and pregame.
All right, so you're bringing up now that we've gotten to the NFT part of the show here, okay? So since they're going to do NFTs now again at the Bitcoin Magazine event, there will be no NFT. No, that's not happening. But at this other event in Miami, okay, you're free to do what you want to do, and with Juan Galt and everything, awesome. Now, what I've been seeing in the mainstream crypto media, it is insane here. Every day I check these things, they got 3 clickbait articles on NFTs. Who's making $69 million? Who's doing this? How you become super wealthy? It is reminding me of ICO 2.0. Of ICO, so thus ICO. I mean, it's craziness. Some of this stuff is crazy. Now, Ken, you've been talking about NFTs since before anyone. And so I give you credit for that. Who knows? Have you done well? Have you off of them? I don't even. We'll see. But Ken, you at the beginning of the show, you were not very pro Bitcoin. You had some frustrations with it. You're talking about collectibles. So tell us what NFTs are to you. Tell us what straight
They're
up.
Toys. I just like toys, man. I like collect. I've always been like that, you know. I still have Pokemon cards from when I was a kid, Magic cards. You know, it's just fun, you know, and the investors coming in and speculating, it's kind of ruining all the fun I've had for years, you know. So, yeah, all my NFTs have gone up in value, but now all the ones I wanted to buy have too. And it's like, well, that sucks. You know, I wasn't buying them because they were expensive or I thought they'd get expensive. I was just buying art from Josie. I was buying art from, you know, Lucho. I was buying art from Vesa just because I like art. And now all of a sudden I have to worry about somebody smacking into a piece of art on my wall because it's like worth $100,000. It's like, I don't like burdened responsibility like that. You know, it's like, I just liked it because it was cute. And now these guys are coming in and, you know, saying, oh, NFTs, you know, $69 million Beeples. And I mean, that's fun and all, but yeah, you're right. I was at NFT NYC in New York City last year. And I remember on stage, I was telling them, you're going to be seeing the dawn of NFT ICOs. You know, and this was over a year ago in New York. I was telling people that this was going to happen, and watching it kind of unfold, I feel like, damn, did I give people ideas? Like, what the, you know, but that's what they're doing. They're basically, you know, it's happening with everything. People are using this right now, in my opinion, probably is the best use case for money laundering. Like, NFTs are better for money laundering than privacy coins. You know, it's great. You know, if you sell a bunch of illegal stuff for Bitcoin on the deep web, how do you buy a Lamborghini with it? Well, you sell an NFT, you buy it from yourself, and then you go tell somebody bought an NFT from you, pay your capital gains, and now you have clean money. That's what we're seeing happen now in the tens of millions of dollars. That's all. It's wash trading, it's market manipulation, and I wouldn't tell anybody to buy any NFT right now if they think it's going to make them more money in the future. You better be buying it because you like it. It's cute. It's a Charizard card in the 90s. It's not worth $100,000. It wasn't supposed to be, but now Charizard can get you a Lambo. So just buy the things you like, and you'll never be at a loss.
So have we entered a new territory here where young people, and actually much younger than you even, do they believe, like, there's a lot of people that rip on NFTs, but they say it's not real, it's not physical. How can art, have we had a paradigm shift in terms of modern art here? Is this going to continue into the future? NFTs are, this is, do the old people out there have to have a check of their brains here and just be like, learn that this is art, this is new,
they'll die out before then. All the old people will be dead. The millennials will rule the world, and it will be common practice, common sense, just inherently in nature, technological use case. You hand a 5-year-old an iPad, it takes them 2 days to figure out Twitter better than an 80-year-old if you gave them a year. So yeah, I think, you know, by the time that matters, you know, they'll be aged out, won't be here. We don't need to on-ramp grandma into Bitcoin. I've been telling everybody, stop on-ramping grandma because it's a waste of grandma's time. You know, help the grandkids get on-ramped into Bitcoin, though. The great-grandkids, get them into Bitcoin. But yeah, for NFTs, to me, it's social currency. You know, if you had an NFT, Adam, I'm just going to buy one. The same way I sent you a $17 super chat, except all you let me get for that $17 was a PayPal receipt. And now I can collect my PayPal receipts. Or you could be cool and just say, hey, Ken, go to Teespring. I have a $17 t-shirt. Now I can buy a t-shirt and you get your $17. Well, I have a fuck ton of t-shirts. I don't need any more. oh, well, here's a sticker. You can have an NFT. Here's 17 bucks. It's gamified GoFundMe, Patreon, super chatting is the way I look at it. And that's how I use it. I just use it as a way for people, if they want to send me a $5 super chat, just go buy a $5 NFT. It's the same damn thing, except you have a way cooler receipt. It's the speculation that people are getting involved where they're like, oh, I'm going to be the next Beeple, and it's hard to say what are you actually worth. Like you're being speculated on by your own community instead of people just saying, here's $1. Oh, thanks for this NFT receipt.
All right, you pretty good take there on NFTs. Yeah, you very grounded take on it. I must say. I don't know if everyone was expecting that. Let's go to Phil on NFTs.
Well, NFTs don't really have anything to do with Bitcoin, so I don't have too much to say about them.
Color coins.
Yeah, color coins also don't have anything to do with Bitcoin. It was an experiment that people tried and failed way back in the day because it. But you got to give Bitcoin its credit from an economics perspective. So Bitcoin what I'm in Bitcoin, hey Ken, what I'm here in Bitcoin to do is foundationally
trying to have a conversation, bro. You know what I mean?
Sure, let Phil talk and then Ken, you go. Okay, just keep us in the middle.
What I'm doing here in Bitcoin is trying to foundationally reset the entire global economy onto a sound money standard. And the innovation that Bitcoin achieved was the first thing that became both digital and scarce. Now, historically and post-Bitcoin, what we've been proven time and time again is that things that are digital are not scarce. You can create infinite copies of Bitcoin. You can create infinite copies of other cryptocurrencies. The only thing that is digital and scarce is Bitcoin itself. There are 21 million Bitcoin. Transactions are broadcast by signatures from private keys, and that's it. So the NFTs, they're a toy. I think it's kind of a symptom of a dying fiat currency, and I will never speculate in them because I don't view cryptocurrency as some kind of cheap collectible thing. I view Bitcoin as foundationally resetting the global economy.
All right, Ken, you just sent 420 to me. Thank you. So you get another shot. What did you want to ask Phil there? You wanted to say something to him. Ken.
I think he dropped.
Oh, man. Oh, come on. So something happened. All right, well, we'll go to Joe. What's your take?
I agree with Phil on, the speculation to get rich quick. It's a symptom of, this fiat mindset. And people could just, buy and hodl and they will get rich. I do think that NFTs, they screw with my brain really hard, Adam, because I feel like everything's being materialized and art and collectibles and things like that, this fun stuff will probably happen and it will be inevitable. I'm not super interested in it. I think it's neat and I think it's probably going to continue to flourish and it's going to continue to advance. And I think it will eventually come to some kind of side chain on Bitcoin. So I'm not super passionate about it. I'm not investing in it. I'm not a customer. Some people are, but I definitely would not advise anyone to get rich quick with this. But I think it's neat. And I think what artists are doing and creating on them is something to keep an eye on, but I'm with Phil. I am in the trenches with him. Let's overthrow the central banking overlords with the most sound money mankind's ever known. Let's keep building. Let's build as many on-ramps as possible. Let's keep hardening this protocol. That's what really excites me.
All right. Well, hey, I see in the chat the great Vention is here. Oh, it's so great to see you, Vention. I just wanted to give you a special shout out. I actually left a comment on your video where you were a little bit worried that you lost some Bitcoin and through an old paper wallet. I want you to read the comment I left there because I think it might give you a solution. By the way, what I just said has nothing to do with This Week in Bitcoin show. But I see someone in the chat. I wanted to say hi and just give him a message. And we all love Vention. He's doing his thing over there in Washington. All right, let's go to Phil here with jobs and being in motion. You've BlockFi, well, not BlockFi, excuse me. Your company over there, Unchained Capital. You work for Unchained Capital in Austin, and they are hiring people. I linked you below their careers page. It's not just technical people, business side of people. You hired that Justine, okay, who's been on my show before. You got a lovely picture of her there too. She looks freaking hot in that picture. I gotta say it. I gotta say it. There's nothing wrong with that. We're men. All right. So what is up with Unchained Capital and hiring here? I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there are all these people that try to say that we're poor and people are poor. There's no jobs out there. This is the golden age. So take it away with what Unchained Capital is doing.
Sure. Yeah, we're hiring a significant number of people. So we just closed a seed round led by NYDIG. So what we're building is a Bitcoin native financial services provider, a Bitcoin native bank, if you will. But as a company, we never actually take control of client funds. We hold one key in a multi-signature quorum of 3 keys. So it helps to decentralize and grow a robust and Bitcoin economy where no company or individual is a single point of failure. So if you're interested in building these kind of Bitcoin native financial services with us, yeah, we have a variety of different jobs. So Justine just joined us on our concierge onboarding team. She's been holding and managing her own private keys for many years. And so now she's going to leverage her experience to help educate newcomers into holding their own private keys and taking control. We also just hired a new guy, Cam Strom, on our business development team. He came over from Oracle. What I love doing is hiring folks from these large kind of legacy companies into this new Bitcoin native economy. So yeah, we're looking for engineers. We're looking for more kind of general roles. It's all on our website. So definitely check us out if you're interested in helping out.
All right. In motion dudes over there. I love it. I love it. And hey, there's a plus for Austin. There's a company hiring over there. Okay, let's Joe, we're here at the end of the show now.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing statements, anything you want to promote, anything that we left off? The floor is yours.
Thank you for having us. I'm Bitcoin only. I care about Bitcoin almost more than anything, except for my wife and kiddos. And I do want to shield Bitcoin 2021. Like we said earlier, it's going to be June 4th and 5th. Go to b.tc/conference and you can pick up a ticket. They're $3.99 right now for general admission. They're going to go up to $4.99 next Friday. Use promo code Satoshi for 10% off, and be sure to get an after party ticket because it's going to be a banger. Trust me. And I can't wait to get to Miami. Adam, I will throw a big hug on you. Phil, I'll give you a hug too, man. I'm okay with some hugging. And I'm ready to have a lot of fun. I think it's going to be the biggest, most badass Bitcoin conference ever. I think it's going to be legendary. I think there's going to be some incredible content come out of this that will probably shape narrative for at least the next 24 months, if not longer.
I really have to agree with you on that final point there, that it is going to be the best one of all time, because we've lived through quite a year, now over a year of insanity, where many people have been scared to go to real life events. But already Miami has, if you've been in Miami like I have, you know that most people are over this insanity. Unfortunately, when you go to a place like Baltimore, you see most people are still into this insanity. So there'll be people coming from all over the country. Many of them are like in a trance, and they will break out of the trance and touch people again, and they'll just be so excited. And and Miami's the perfect place to have this at. So it's going to be a convergence of all sorts of awesome positive energy. And again, it seems like everybody on my show is going to freaking be there. So I am clearly pumped. Okay, Phil, we'll let you have the final word here. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's really it. Thanks so much again for having me on, Adam, and for all your viewers. Ignore NFTs, buy Bitcoin, strong hands. You measure your net worth in Bitcoin, and stay laser focused on this, guys. It's going to make you wealthy, and it's going to change the world for the positive.
That value your wealth in Bitcoin. Indeed, when you're going back to NFTs real quick, it's just like why is it just in our why is the mainstream crypto media just jumping on this thing? That's why I bring it up, because I just want to clarify what it exactly is. I think Kenn actually kind of said what it is. It's a toy. It is a toy, but it's really frothy and bubbly. And
you have to do some serious mental gymnastics to value NFTs, because NFTs are pictures of art. They're digital pictures of art. And they mean nothing. You have to trust that the artist put them on there. They don't solve any problem in the world. They don't solve the transferring art problem. They don't solve the issue of ownership or who created it. you're still just trusting whoever is entering that data onto a blockchain, and then there's some sort of private key. So they're frothy. You're right. Like, people are speculating tons of money. It's this cycle's ICO craze, which we're going to forget about them again in 3 years, and then some new marketing term is going to pop up. It's the cycles. The long-term play here is hold Bitcoin, secure your private keys, and earn Bitcoin as many different ways as you can.
I mean, I think these publications, they have a policy of diversification for the sake of diversification. They just can't talk about Bitcoin. And that's all I talk about. But they got it. They get into these wild clickbaits, and it works. Because all these newbies, they're just tempted when they see $69 million and fancy pictures. I don't know. It's a toy,
big numbers,
guys.
man. Yeah, the big numbers make people go crazy.
All right. So we've gotten that out of the way. So thank you everybody for being on today, my guests, and thank you everybody that's there. As everyone knows, Passover starts tomorrow night. That's why I'm back in Baltimore. And there's a little bit of a tradition on this show. I always say Shabbat Shalom at the end of This Week in Bitcoin, because I want everybody to have a great Shabbat, which starts tonight. But this is even more special. At Passover, I say this, because we're at the conclusion of the show, and this is how we conclude the Passover Seder here. I'm going to read you. Ended is the Passover Seder, according to custom, statute, and law. As we were worthy to celebrate this year, so may we perform in future years. O pure one in heaven above, restore the congregation of Israel in your love. Speedily lead your redeemed people to Zion in joy next year in Jerusalem. Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Have a great Passover, everyone. Strong hand. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Woo! All right. That is.